Live visuals now coming from Kenya, where former US President Barack Obama is, he's just arrived there at an event. Let's see if we can go live there.
I suppose it makes sense to start at home before you go home.
Exactly. He's there to, support his sister, Dr. Obama, and she has launched a foundation. And he's there to give us some support and help launch this foundation and this vocational training center.
Foundation, because I want to encourage.
Just to remind you, this is all part of Mr. Obama is coming here to South Africa, and it's all part of the Nelson Mandela centenary celebrations. And one of the questions we're asking you today is, what is your plans for Nelson Mandela Centenary Celebrations Week today? You can send us your comments at @theagenda_SABC.
Well, there you have it there. Kenyans of all walks of life, as well as high commissioners and ambassadors, attending the East African nation, attending an event where former US President Barack Obama is attending an event, multiple events really, including one to honor his sister. Speakers at the service talked about Mandela's service and sacrifice for his nation and urged Christians to follow his examples. That was a church service held in honor of the 100-year centenary celebrations of Dr. Nelson Mandela.
South Africa's High Commissioner to Kenya told the congregation that Mandela was mindful of the role the church played in the liberation of South Africa. She reminded them of the need to, dedicate their lives in service to others. On Wednesday, the High Commissioner will lead Mandela's centenary celebrations at the United Nations headquarters in Nairobi.
Both in secular education, but also in sports and extracurricular activities, vocational trainings. This is something that we believe will empower the young people of this region, but also of the country. So on behalf of Kenya Red Cross, I just want to say to Dr. Obama and her team, congratulations, well done, bravo, God bless you, and may you be able to build many more such facilities around this country.
Hi, my name is Soraya Ladak. I am the marketing director here at Brew Bistro and also the wine shop. So in 2015, when then President Obama came to Kenya, it was a huge moment in history for all of us. And we as Big Five Breweries really wanted to be part of that excitement. So my husband came up with the Obama Brew, which was a huge success. And it was really very fun to see a lot of Kenyans celebrating, rejoicing in a moment in history through something as simple as a beer.
My name is Alim Ladak. I'm the Master Brewer and Managing Director here at Big Five Breweries Limited, Brew Bistro and Lounge. And today I'm going to take you through an exciting journey. And this exciting journey is the creation of Obama Brew and the Saudi 44 Brew. So for the special occasion for Obama's visit on the 15th of July, we have created two special beers. The first is the Obama Brew, which I have right here. The inspiration behind the Obama Brew is twofold. Obama became president of the US in 2009, and the Big Five Breweries Limited opened in 2009. The second reason is Obama visited Kenya in 2015. And us being a Kenyan craft brewer was really a special moment. So we created a beer which is a full-bodied amber lager, rich, smooth, with caramel notes, a bit of chocolate notes. I mean, truly a great beer.
Every man or woman can relate over something as simple as a beer. And I think to be part of that moment in history was just really exciting for us. And we're getting to do it again, which is a privilege and an honor.
Now, for Obama's next visit to Kenya, which is on the 15th of July, for the opening of the Saudi Crew Foundation, we've created another specialty beer. So we created a Saudi 44 Pale Ale. Now, this is a smooth, light-bodied beer.
Okay, let's get more information about this visit. It's a big one. A lot of people are excited that the former US President Barack Obama is coming to our shores, but he's stopping off there at Kenya. To tell us about the significance of this is our foreign editor, Sophie Mokena. Sophie, thank you very much indeed for your time. Tell us about the significance. He's kind of going back home, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see there's excitement in the village, his ancestral land. You know that he is there to launch a project. his sister took a decision to assist the young ones, particularly the youth in that village, on issues related to education. You can see the grandma, you know her, Obama's grandmom, and they are waiting for the man of the moment. And I think on arrival, he will be accompanied by his sister, Oma, Dr. Oma, the person who started the project. And you can see many people are already waiting for the former president of the US, Barack Obama. We know that he also spoke to Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday. He was expected to meet Raila Odinga, you know, the leader of the opposition. And, you know, the three, that is Barack Obama, Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, their parents knew each other, and they were all politicians. And at the end, towards the end of the tenure of Jomo Kenyatta, there was tension within the families. Now it looks like the three guys, or the three boys, so to say, of you know, are trying to assist their country to find peace and to ensure that there's development. And people believe that if Obama, Uhuru and Odinga can work together, there can be a good progress in Kenya.
What about personally for Barack Obama, in terms of his relationship with his family back home? What do we know about that relationship?
Well, you know very well that he grew up in America, but at some point in time he went to Kenya to try and connect with his family, and he did that, and he was welcomed by the granny. And you'd recall those pictures where he was assisting the granny in the milli field, and the very humble beginning. And later it was when he became a president, when he visited Kenya again, but he didn't go to the countryside. I remember I was there, SABC did live coverage from there when he came to Kenya as a president, but he promised the Kenyans that when he find time, he will come back, and hoping that when he comes back, it will be more of going back to the ancestral land or the village. And here he is today doing exactly that.
He's seemingly very close to his sister, isn't it? I know she was very involved with him in the campaign when he was running for president. And now he's coming to assist with the launch of this foundation.
Yes, they are very close with Oma. Even when he was there as the president on a state visit in Kenya, Oma was always on his side, and it looks like they really get along very well. And all the time when he is talking about members of the family, the person he often referred to is Oma. But there are other, the brother, it looks like, you know, family matters. The relation is not so cordial.
Do we know if he traveled with Michelle Obama on this trip?
No. During the media briefing on Saturday, his foundation indicated that neither the two daughters or Michelle Obama will be part of this trip. But she did send a video message. You know very well that on Wednesday, he is going to meet and interact with 200 young people from the continent, from 44 African countries. And there's a video message that is going to be played there, a message from Michelle Obama. He is on his own. But what I do know is that the U.S. former ambassador to South Africa is also part of the delegation that's accompanying former President Barack Obama.
How significant will his lecture be tomorrow, not only for us as South Africans, but the global community listening in?
Well, I think where he is, he's a very troubled man. In terms of his legacy, I mean, his successor is undoing everything that he has done in terms of health system and health policies, trying to reach out the issue of race, international interaction or multilateral organizations. So I think where he is very worried in terms of what's happening around the world and the role America is playing currently. Instead of America being this country that is pursuing multilateralism, but secondly ensuring that there's peace and harmony around the world, and continue to strengthen relations with the allies and building new relations. It looks like Donald Trump has got a different policy. And when you look at all these policies, his legacy is in danger, the legacy of former President Barack Obama. When I spoke to the foundation spokesperson who deals with international matters, she indicated that among the young people who have been invited to South Africa, the 200, some of them are those young people who went to the Obama program in America when he was still the president of the United States of America, because he started then to try and build the young people and try to reach out to young people to impart skills in terms of leadership. But it looks like the current president is not willing to continue with that Mandela US program, and therefore he wants to deal with that from his foundation now.
Yeah. Donald Trump was on a tour. He's visited the UK. He's now in Helsinki to meet with Vladimir Putin. Do you think Barack Obama, in his speech tomorrow, will try to tackle some US domestic politics as well?
There is no way, as a former leader and a former head of state who understand the geopolitics, can ignore what is happening currently around the world. He might not be direct, but I think he is going to touch on multilateralism and the importance of countries to work together.
What do you think about this, since we speak about Donald Trump, what do you think about this meeting? Because the agenda with Vladimir Putin, the agenda of the meeting is unclear, isn't it?
Yes, you would recall that even the agenda between President Trump and Kim Jong-un, it wasn't clear. It looks like even now, it's the same issue. It's not clear, but the meeting is going to continue, and we know very well what are the issues. We know that the big issue is whether did Russia interfere with the elections that led to him being elected as the president of the United States of America, but also the relations in general and the NATO, or the relationship within the NATO. The second issue, you would recall when he was at the G7, but Trump indicated that he would like to see Russia joining the G7 and G7 becoming a G8 again. Therefore, I think the issues of trade, politics and multilateralism will come up. My hope is that perhaps Vladimir Putin will use this opportunity to indicate to Donald Trump that multilateralism is very important. You know that Putin does subscribe to multilateralism. We know he's coming to South Africa to attend the BRICS summit. So I think for me it will be important for him to kind of engage Donald Trump in terms of respecting other countries and the world order.
Donald Trump is very much an America First president. Barack Obama, basically a global citizen. Do you think he is the right man for the job in order for that lecture tomorrow? Is he the right person to deliver this important lecture?
On many fronts, in terms of race relations, in terms of reaching out, he's the only American president who visited Sub-Sahara many times. And the Sub-Sahara, you know, it's the poor region or part of the world, which indicates that he understands the plight of people. Yes, he ate. Let's go back to the Libya matter. You know very well that it's under his watch that happened and the invasion. But the reality is there's a good side also. He understands the plight of the developing world because his ancestral land is Kenya. He knows exactly, you know, what does it take to be poor. And he understands the needs of young people because he became a president, you know, one of the young presidents around the world at that time. So I think for me, he's got his faults. He's not holy, but at least you know very well that there are issues that he's able to understand and articulate.
Do you think he's trying to make up with the continent? Because there was some criticism when he was president that more should have been done in order to address African issues. Do you think it's time for him to maybe improve in that regard in terms of his legacy?
I think that's what he's trying to do. And that time it was very difficult. You know very well when he was campaigning, people tend to use his links with Africa to say he's not an American, he doesn't deserve to be the president of the United States of America. Therefore,
well, the current incumbent is.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid
yeah.
that to cloud whatever he was doing. This reminds me of a South African situation. There was a time the Mandela's successor, Mbeki, used to feel very aggrieved when you wanted to indicate that he comes from a particular tribe, particular region, particular language and all that, because he believed that he's a South African president, he belongs to all. Yeah. So that's the approach Obama took. He took a decision that for starter, I have to ensure that really Americans understand that I am first the president of the United States of America. Yes, I have a link with Africa and the world in general, and I can't ignore that. But with Donald Trump, it's America, 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 nothing else.
Sophie, as a foreign editor, what are we hearing from our correspondents abroad? Are people excited about International Mandela Day?
Yes, it's a big issue. For example, in America, events have started. You saw on Friday night, the NASDAQ, our ambassador was there. And then Europe, many countries, London, Brussels, France, we expect activities there. On the continent, all the South African embassies and even different countries, because it is not a South African day. Yeah. It is an international Mandela Day declared by the United Nations, and therefore all member countries, all the UN member countries are expected to do something on the 18th of July.
Big week ahead, big day, 18th of July. Sophie Mokoena, always appreciate getting your insight. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Well, a very special musical performance was held in honor of Nelson